When it comes to the course and tournament information, what I like to cover first are the tournament fact sheets. You can find this at gcsaa.org. It's a website that looks like this. You can't really see it. Let me see. There you go. So gcsaa.org. And what you want to do is scroll all the way to the bottom of this website. I know this is kind of clunky on your side, but you'll come down here to the media room down here, and you'll see the tournament fact sheets right here. You click on that, that sends you to this page, and you'll see all the tours that they use. Hit that PGA, and the first tournament you'll see is the PGA Tour. They actually had an Open Championship. I remember going over the course and tournament information, and they didn't have one. Interesting. I want to check that out a little bit later, but won't waste your time here. Again, this brings you to the tournament fact sheets, and what I like about this is this gives you data points that you can use to research. So obviously you can see the tournament that we're playing, 3M Open. It's in the TPC Twin Cities, Blaine, Minnesota. By the way, I'll be there Saturday. I'm going to hang out with the Fantasy Golf Pod guys, and we're going to walk around. Maybe we'll run into you if you come to this tournament. Maybe not. Maybe we can get on TV somehow. So be on the lookout for us. I think we'll probably show up around noon, 1 p.m., something like that, because we are golfing earlier that morning. And then we'll head to the tournament. Anyways, back to the golf course, or the tournament, the data points that I was talking about. So we have a par 71, 7,400 yards, stimp meter, so 12. There are some data sites out there that do use stimp meter. I think that's a smart idea to use for your research. You can also use average screen size. You can use basically any of this information for your research. The most important one to me is turf grass. I say this every single week. Turf grass to me is the most important piece of the tournament fact sheets. That and the architect. You can obviously use the architect as a data point. And oh, by the way, when it comes to the turf grass, I do have that on the cheat sheet. You can see that right over here in course fit. We have bent grass. Now I do have a second one that says POA. You can ignore that. There's not a second grass here, as you can see right here. So again, this is on the cheat sheet. You can see who is the best on bent grass. My stats for these three stat categories: bent events, overall bent, and top 10 percentage. This dates back to 2013. So if there's some older golfers in here that have played since 2013, their data is going to go all the way back to then. Some of these guys like Cam Young just came on tour last year, so they're 22 events. It's not as many as obviously Tony Finau right below, or some of these other guys. So just take that for what it's worth. Of course, you can see their overall bent. This is their average finishing position, by the way, on bent grass. Their percentage to finish inside the top 10, like what their historical percentage of finishing inside the top 10 is. And then last year bent is just taking one full calendar year's worth of data and averaging out their finishing positions. So I believe Ludwig Aberg is the best golfer because he only has 4 events, and those were this year. So keep that in mind. This doesn't mean it's this year, but we all know Ludwig came on to the scene this year, so that is why his overall bent matches his last year bent. That's an easy indication. So anyways, this is available to you on the cheat sheet. So again, data points. Another big one, I'm sure you've heard this throughout the industry. Hey, we're in the land of 10,000 lakes. That's Minnesota. I think we have the most shoreline of any state, including those that are on the coast, because of how much water we have here. So perfect representation for Minnesota is the 3M Open. We have 15 holes that have water in play. And if you look at like a GPS imagery, you're going to see there's a lot of ponds and stuff. It's funny because when I lived in California, the ponds they had there were smaller than the ponds we have up here, and they called them lakes, which is it's funny. So anyways, these are the tournament fact sheets, a great place to get your data research or data points for research, and you can use that however you'd like, whatever site that you go to. Obviously, I don't have one yet, but if I did, you could use a lot of the information here on these tournament fact sheets. So if I were to go to, well, let's do this. It's been a while since I've talked about results. This tournament started in 2019, the same time the Rocket Mortgage Classic started. And if you remember me talking about the Rocket Mortgage Classic, 4 years of data is borderline. It's like on the fence of normalization. And what I mean by that is, you know, you're going to have some really skewed results if you're only looking at like 2 years worth of data. Like, it's not like normalizing is determining on average, like, what golfers are good at this event, or, you know, the winning score. You want it to average out. You want the stats to normalize. So we can actually see here the highest score, obviously lowest being better. The highest score we've ever seen is -15. Minus 21 is the lowest we've ever seen, but it averages out about -17. If you take all these scores together, well, let's see here. It's minus 18. My apologies. It's -18. So that's what you could use as like a data point for research, is winning score somewhere between, I mean, I would say this, somewhere between how about -16 and -20? I think that's probably a good data point to use. You could also use the average cut score. So this would be -2, -3, -2. Interesting. 1 over. Must have played a little bit more challenging in 2022. So anyways, you could use all of that. What is the average? Pretty much even par is the average, but I would say -1. If you're researching somewhere between -1 and -3, that's probably the best way to go. So that's what I would look for when you're researching, like cut scores, like average cut scores or average winning positions. Moving on to the golf course, like I like to do one other piece, and it's looking at shot shapes, especially when you have water. There are going to be some greens that you want to be coming in with certain shot shapes to shape it around the water, shape it around little peninsulas or inlands or things of that nature. It gives golfers the best opportunity to get close, which obviously means we probably have the better opportunity to get birdies out of our golfers that way. So that's why I have shot shapes up here. And this is actually a golf course that will require several different shot shapes. So I think being a shot shaper is going to be the best type of golfer here. But if you wanted to go with the draw, we have a few more draws than we do fades. You certainly could do that. And although I don't have the entire cheat sheet populated with shot shapes with golfers, you can still find some in column P. So I keep shot shapes here. This is the golfer's primary shot shape. Can the golfers shape shots however they want? Yes. But I mean, like, yeah, I always use the example of Tommy Fleetwood at the Honda Classic in what, 2019, 2020 or something like that. Or it might have been a little bit after that. Coming down to hole 18, he needs a birdie to force the playoff. He has an eagle to win the championship. But he has a shot where the pin is tucked behind water on the right side. If he could hit a fade, he'd have the best opportunity to get that ball close. But he hits a draw. So he tries to hit a fade, and guess what happens? He goes in the water because it's not his preferred shot shape. And typically, despite how good these golfers are, you do something a little bit different than what they typically do, can't handle it. So that's why I have preferred shot shapes here. Again, it's not, not fully completed. Once I get enough time, I will certainly complete all of the golfers in the PGA Tour for this year and next year. So, but I still have enough. I think I still have enough in here where you can use it to your advantage. So, I do like to use shot shapes. And again, I think a shot shaper, so anything that has both, like down here, Adam Hadwin, he likes to shape the shot or shape his golf ball both ways. I've also seen Emiliano Grillo do it as well. I haven't really seen Sepp Straka hit many fades, but it's not saying that he can't. We also know Justin Thomas, can shape shots both directions. We saw him hit a nice draw during the Players Championship when he won it, but I just don't see him really that much in control of his golf ball at this moment. So you can take this or leave it. Doesn't matter to me. It's just what I see with my eyes and what I know about golf. I mean, I've been an instructor for a very long time. I like to shape my shots both directions. So like I said, take it or leave it. It's really up to you guys. And then when we're talking about the tournament, one last piece that we don't really talk about. I mean, we have a full field, it's 156 golfers. So keep that in mind. That's a data point you can use for researching. I like to use the strength of field, the old strength of field rating. So 256 isn't necessarily, I think 256 is about average, to be quite honest with you. And I don't remember what was it in 2022? What was our strength of field there? 116. So we've doubled that this year, which is pretty cool. So this is around average. I think like 270 is about average strength of field. So we have a pretty good event this year at the 3M Open. So that's kind of the last little piece of information. It's top 65 in ties. It's a normal PGA Tour event. So everything is standard. 256 strength of field. That's really all that I have for course information or course and tournament information.